Welcome to Grounds Patrol, a Newgrounds community podcast. I am Will Comer. I am your host, and I am very excited because this is the first episode of Grounds Patrol ever to grace Newgrounds and the internet. Now, if you're listening to this, then one of two things are happening. Either you are discovering this as it comes out for the first time, in which case, welcome, and thank you for choosing to make Grounds Patrol a thing you wanted to listen to, even though you don't know anything about it. It's the first episode. Nobody probably even knows it exists. The other reason you might be listening to this is if it is the year 2034, and Grounds Patrol has just had its 2000th episode or something like that, and you're deciding that, just for fun, you're going to go back and listen to it from the beginning. In which case, I just want to tell you, thank you for sticking around. I'm sorry it's gotten so bad. I will personally put my hand up and say that episode 1796 was a total dumpster fire. I'm so sorry. But hey, come back, listen to episode number 1 here, and maybe just take solace in the fact that it used to be good. Now, you're probably wondering, if you're the former and you don't know what this podcast is yet, what is going on with Grounds Patrol? What is it? Well, I'll tell you, it is a Newgrounds community podcast, like I said, which means basically consider it like a bulletin board telling you all the cool stuff that's happened on Newgrounds and just kind of a celebration of Newgrounds and of its community, which, if you're listening to this, you're part of the community too, and that's a very cool thing. This podcast, guys, is for you. For the Newgrounds community, to me, means for you. It is not for me. It is not for the people I might end up interviewing. It is not for the sponsors. I won't be talking about Blue Apron today. It is about you, and I want to celebrate you and the fact that you're making cool art. All right, so the things that might happen in this podcast are news, but not that much news. I mean, you go to Tom's news post and see all the news you want. I'm not going to just parrot it to you, but just things that I might think are important that you might want to know. Statistics about the portal. There's a lot of number crunching about the portal you might not know about. I bet if I asked you how many movies came out the past month, you wouldn't know. Which, not a problem, because that's what I'm here for. I'm also going to go through just maybe some trivia, some fun facts about Newgrounds. It has a very storied-long history. There's a lot you can learn about. And, I mean, I'm no expert. I haven't been around Newgrounds as long as some other people have, but I have the floor, so maybe I can tell you some fun facts that I think is interesting about Newgrounds. That's what I'm going to do this episode, in fact. Another big thing I'm planning to have in Grounds Patrol is interviews with creators, and that's going to be really, really fun. Now, the way I'm planning on organizing this now, and this might get thrown out the window the second I make this, is that I'm going to be making episodes twice a month. So that is bi-monthly, I guess semi-weekly, and they're going to be alternating between episodes that are interviews with creators, because I want those to go long. You want to hear the entire interview. And just episodes that are just kind of the news and the trivia and the fun facts and stuff like that. And as I make up more segments that can be on the show, I'm going to put them in the show. And if they get well reviewed, then I'll keep them. And if they don't, then I'll move along. Because this is something I want to keep very, very feedback-based. If you don't like what you're hearing, tell me. If you do like what you're hearing, please tell me. I would really like to know that. Now, this is going to come out on March 1st, which means you've had the entire month of February to sort of enjoy the art and the content that's been coming out. Now, like I sort of hinted at before, I bet you don't know how many movies came out this past month. Well, I'm here to tell you that and much more. So let's get into a segment I like to call News from the Portal. That might change. The month of February was very good. We had a lot of movies, a lot of games, a lot of songs, and a lot of pieces of art. Those are the 4 things I'm going to focus on. Really quickly, before I tell you the numbers of everything, I'm going to tell you, I guess, how I came about the numbers, because maybe there's some way to do this I don't know about, but as far as I know, there's no way to actually find every exact number of how many movies came out to the second. And to be honest, between the time I record this right now and the time you're listening to this, probably 100 more movies are going to come out anyway. So I'm just trying to say that these are estimates. These are based on a little formula I'm using, which, if you're interested, is going to the portal, looking at, for example, the movies page, looking at how many are listed per page, and then seeing how many pages there are. So, for example, we'll take the movies page. When I looked at this, which was very recently, the movies page had 45 pages, and by my count, there were 24 movies listed per page. So by my math, that means that the amount of movies that came out in the month of February 2019 was 1,080. Okay, now that's a number that I wasn't expecting because I don't usually think of Newgrounds as having over 1,000 movies submitted to it per month. Maybe that's because I'm not a mod. Maybe if I was, I would know about this. But okay, I also checked how many of those movies were adult-themed. I'm just curious. I don't know. Of all the movies that come out in a month, how many of them are adult-only? The answer? Drumroll, please. 240. 240 adult movies were submitted in February 2019. Now, percentage-wise, that is 22%, which means of all the movies submitted, 22% of them were adult-only. Fun. All right, now let's go to games. Games are a little harder to make than movies. I would say, in my opinion, the amount of games that came out in the month of February 2019 was 360. That is 360 individual game projects submitted. And, we're going to do this too, 72 of them were adult-only. That's 20%. So, of all the games, just like movies, it was about a 20% split of adult-only to the rest. That's fun. Let's go to audio. Now, audio is a little bit more complicated because I'm counting this the same way, but unfortunately for me, the audio listing doesn't show the same amount of audio for every page, which is a little confusing. In fact, when I went through the first 6 pages or so, I saw anything from 14 to 32 submissions per page. Now, I went through a lot of pages and I just kind of tried to look at the pattern. I saw that the amount of songs per page were about 25, so we're going to go that it's just 25 per page. Like I said, it's estimate. If you don't care about this, I'm sorry. Let's move on. Now, the amount of audio submissions in February were 2,170. That's almost exactly double the movies. I don't know what that means, but very cool. 2,170 in a month. That's a lot of audio. And because I know you're curious, only 2 ska songs in the past month. What are you guys doing? What are you even doing, ska people? Get on it. We want more ska. 2,170, only 2 ska. I'm not even going to do the percentage for that because it's probably really low. Boo. All right. Now, the one I'm actually excited for here, I'm excited for all of them, but you know what I mean. Art. We had 24,200 pieces of art. 24,200 pieces of art in a month. In a month on Newgrounds. How many gigabytes, terabytes of storage does Newgrounds have to support all that? I don't know. I'm amazed. 24,000. And you ready for the art that's adult only? 7,600 pieces of adult only art. If you go to Newgrounds right now and said, hey, show me how many porno pics are on this website, but only the ones that were made in the last month, you'll get over 7,500. Percentage? 31%. Actually, that's lower than I thought it would be. I thought it was going to be like 75%. I don't know about the art portal. Like I said, not an expert. So there you go. That is your From the Portal news. Now, as we go forward, the next time I do this, I'm also going to have like the information from this episode, and I can do some trends. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's like, ooh, we have more movies this month than last month by 12%. And there's a 39% chance of rain. I don't care. Whatever. Anyway. Now, we're still in the first episode. I have a little time to kill. So I'm going to tell you about just a random fun thing I think that exists in Newgrounds. I want to tell you about something called the Turd of the Week. And this was totally not decided by clicking random article on the Newgrounds Wikia page. Turd of the Week was a Portal award for the lowest score in the Portal. I'm saying was because I don't see it now. I don't think it exists anymore. Maybe it does and I don't see it. But it was certainly something that existed back in the day. Turd of the Week was the lowest score of anything that got through the portal. Tom Fault made this. He started it as just a fun thing to laugh at. Just kind of like let's poke fun at the bad stuff that comes through. Why not? But here's the thing about Turd of the Week that I think was interesting at the time. It's not entirely bad. I mean, if you think about it, the way submissions work on Newgrounds, if something is bad enough, you'll get blamed. You'll get just sent right back off the portal. You won't even get to have it seen by anyone. So the fact that you would be able to get Turd of the Week means that you're on the portal in the first place. So it's kind of this like very fine line where you're just good enough to get onto the portal, but just bad enough to be the worst. Now, while it was started as just something fun to laugh at and that was it, you know how Newgrounds works. Pretty soon, people started to strive to get Turd of the Week. It became very important for a lot of people. They were trying to create content that was just right there on that fine line. I don't know, it's just fun. You know, if you're not going to be able to get the best scored, let's just go for a lower hanging fruit. Let's go for the Turd of the Week. It's still fun. You still get an award. It's just a different kind. One of the most famous users that was striving for Turd of the Week was a user named Cool Boy Man. You might also recognize him by his alter ego name, Strawberry Clock. Strawberry Clock was just a user. He was just trying to throw things to clog in the pipes of the portal and just do random bullshit. He submitted something that was called A, and it was just a flash animation where there was a white screen and there was a letter A, and that was it. It got bland. Duh. Next, he submitted something called B. It also got bland, because it was the same damn thing. Then, on August 15th, he submitted B again. He just submitted B again. This time, you'll see where this is going. It barely made it. It got right into the portal. It was literally just a letter B, the red letter B on a white background, and it made it to the portal. Of course it got Turd of the Week, because it's a turd. It was nothing, but now it's something. Why? Well, because people deemed this piece of rotten garbage getting through to the portal as miraculous. It was a miracle of nature. It was actually inspiration for a crew of people that decided they were going to rally around B and rally around Strawberry Clock. They called themselves the Clock Crew, and they rallied around B, like I said, and it became a hugely top-scoring piece of art, one of the most popular ever. To this day, B has, and I'm looking at this right now, 1,446,527 views. Almost 1.5 million views. It has 1,900 faves. It has 3,477 votes. And its score is 4.33 out of 5. Now, let me tell you, I've put stuff on Newgrounds. I'm not even sure I can strive for the 4.33. But this thing got it, and it's just a B on a white thing. I don't know. I don't know why it's so special. Except because a lot of people think it is. The Clock Crew grew past B, past Strawberry Clock. In fact, over the years, I don't think Strawberry Clock was a Clock Crew member that much, but people made animations and games themed around the Clock Crew. Around Strawberry Clock, they pictured him as a strawberry with a clock on it and a crown on himself. There was other characters, and it was a big deal. It still is. Clock Day is August 15th of every year. It's coming up this year, too, when we're going to celebrate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Turd of the Week. Leave it to Newgrounds to have an award called Turd of the Week that becomes the most famous thing ever. I mean, really. Guys, before I let you go, I kind of want to quickly talk about why I'm starting this podcast. Quickly, I promise. I'm not going to take up your time here too much, but I believe very wholeheartedly in the Newgrounds community. I think it's an awesome community. And one of the big reasons why I'm making this podcast is to support the community in the way I know best, by making a podcast about it. I want this to be nothing but a pure and simple celebration of everything that you guys make, of everything that you guys enjoy, and what you talk about in the forums, what you put on the portal. It deserves some celebration, I think. There is another reason why I want to make this podcast, and it's because while Newgrounds is an amazing community, it's a little confusing to people who don't know anything about it. In fact, if you had no idea what Newgrounds was, and you went to Newgrounds and tried to get into it, you would probably see the front page, which is very busy. I love it, but it's busy. You would click through to the portal and see what's basically a giant spreadsheet of dense things that people don't understand necessarily. You would see the forums. I don't think a lot of people even use forums anymore. I'm not trying to nag on Newgrounds after I talked about celebrating it so much, but I'm saying that I think Newgrounds has capability to grow, and it can grow outward to the people that don't know about it. And, frankly, to the people that think it's dead. I just the other day was telling a friend I was going to do a Newgrounds podcast, and he said, literally, Newgrounds? Are you going to make an albino black sheep podcast too? Fnar. Okay? It's like this tweet I saw the other day. I think the entire internet owes Newgrounds an apology. So there, take that. But it's going to take more than an apology to get Newgrounds into the bigger picture. It's going to take accessibility, I think. And a podcast is accessible. It's a method of information that people know how to listen to. They enjoy it. People can be listening to this on the train, in the car. And, can I be honest? When is Newgrounds going to get to be a bigger, better market, if not for right now? I mean, I'm looking at 2019. YouTube is imploding on itself. Tumblr just famously nixed all their adult content. Where am I going to go to get my adult content? And Newgrounds is the place where all this can come and be part of a better community than they were offering. This might be the most important time in Newgrounds history, besides the formation of it. And, well, I can maybe do what I can to bolster it in my way. And if we all push and bolster it together right now, we might come to a time where Newgrounds is the most important website on the internet again. Thank you for listening to my soapbox. Guys, that is all we have for now. Thank you so much for joining us. You can follow us on Newgrounds and Twitter at Grounds Patrol. You can also join our Discord chat at bit.ly/Grounds Patrol. Let's get this community built. I want people joining this Discord and talking on it, so please join. Again, bit.ly/Grounds Patrol. You can also follow me on Newgrounds and Twitter at WillKMR. We will be back in 2 weeks with a very fun interview. I've already done the interview, and I'm going to tell you who it is so you can look him up first. The user is Twonix. That is spelled Troisnyx. She is a legendary audio producer, art maker, news post writer, moderator, user extraordinaire. So I want you, if you don't mind, to look at her stuff first, because in 2 weeks, we have an interview with her, and it's very exciting. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, stay creative!